20. Noka, Doring, and Chizik. That was a heck of a fun 3.5 hours of bonus cast coverage with our friend Danny Werfel as well. But Florida gets the win. It wasn't easy.
No.
They maybe gave Miami a few extra opportunities that they would have liked to have given them in the fourth quarter. But we're going to break this down a little bit here with their head coach, Dan Mullen, Todd Grantham, both going to join us here. All right, joined now by Dan Mullen and the defensive coordinator, Todd Grantham. Guys, it's good to have you with us. We appreciate this. How do you, and I know that you're going to say there were correctable things here that maybe in the fourth quarter, some penalties that you didn't want to see, but how do you balance the excitement of a win with what's going through your mind as correctable mistakes as well?
For y'all, but no, you know what, for us, there's a lot of things we got to clean up, a lot of things that we can correct off of that film, but the one thing you can't correct is our guy, that you come with our guys, what Nick Savage does in the offseason for strength and conditioning, the training, the ability to make the stops. Todd had us dialed in. It seemed like we made 4 different stops, right?
Yeah, we had 4 stops in the last 2 minutes of the game. I don't think I've ever had that before, so that's a first.
And the one maybe should have been enough, and then we said, hey, you know what, we got to keep it exciting, so we decided to go out and throw a pick right away and get the defense back out there on the field. But, we'll get those things cleaned up and get ready to go.
Coach, when you look at the offense tonight, only 54 total plays, some uneven production, obviously some big plays there, but had a hard time running the football against this Miami front. What do you take away from this game that you liked about your offense's performance?
Well, you know what, that we kept battling offensively. They did a good job keeping the ball away from us, as you said. If you turn the ball over as much as we did, the first couple turnovers, we just handed it to them. Balls, we didn't. They were just exchanges, and we put the ball on the ground and didn't even fall on it. We're going to do some fumble drills or something, falling on a ball this week. But you know what? But we didn't flinch. You know what? We never flinched. Felipe kept going. We knew we were going to put the game in his hands a lot. And our senior wide receivers, they said, hey, keep believing of us. Keep sticking with us. They were stopping the run to stop the run, and our guys came out and made plays.
Todd, this is Gene Chizik. Listen, I really like the way you mixed a lot of things up during the course of the game. You brought some internal pressures. You showed some blitzes. You pulled out. You did different things, but you ended up getting 10
we called
sacks.
Quite a few of them there in the second half,
10 plus
obviously.
Sacks.
But, they do a good job with their screen game and trying to keep you off balance. But at the end of the day, we felt like we had to find ways to pressure this quarterback and give him some looks to maybe, hold the ball a little bit where we could get after him with some pressures. And our guys did a good job of executing for the most part.
Guys, we appreciate you spending some time with us after this game. Great win, 24-20. You got a bye week next. Enjoy that.
We're certainly going to enjoy it. We got some things to clean up on the field, but we'll enjoy the bye week. Thank you all so much.
All right, thank you very much. Congratulations to you. 1-0 start for the Florida Gators. Dan Mullen, Todd Grantham there. So, look, and we're going to go full 60 minutes coming up right at the top of the hour. We got a couple of minutes to chat here, and we'll some of this we'll mention again in that particular show. From a coaching perspective, there are obviously things that need cleaned up, right? You got to the quarterback, that's great, but silly penalties, terrible turnovers, lack of tackling. How do you begin to address these over the course of the next couple of weeks?
Well, let me tell you this. You can't match the jubilation on a win, period. That's the number one thing. You're going to watch. Did you see how giddy he was?
Yes.
Right? Because that game wasn't pretty, right? But they won 24-20, and that's the only thing that matters. That's the only thing that anyone's going to remember. Because as a coach, there were a lot of things that he looked at in that game, and he knows they're correctable.
I think the thing that I took away from an offensive guy is it was frustrating all night long. They weren't able to run the football well. They did have some opportunities to make some plays in the passing game, but guys weren't open downfield when they took some shots. But they kept at it. And Coach mentioned it a second ago. They finally were able to break through. And I think that persistence that Felipe Franks was talking about paid off in the second half because they hung in there and they kept taking shots. And sooner or later, they hit that one to Josh Hammond. And that kind of broke the game open for the Gators.
Now, we're going to, again, look back at this game. We'll hear more from Dan Mullen. The anticipation is, the expectation is we're going to head to the news conference when he's having that in Orlando there's a lot to digest here and break down.
Yeah.
4 new starters on the offensive line. What'd you see? I mean, just real
I
quick.
thought they did a good job. I mean, I don't know what the sack numbers were off the top of my head, but I thought they did a nice job of providing protection. They need to open up some run lanes, but that was a really tough defensive front they played.
1 sack.
Yeah.
That's it. All right, 60-minute now.
Franks on play action, turns, throws to his right on the screen. It's Tony, eludes 2, 45 to midfield, breaks the tackle to 48, inside the 40, he may go.
And he's a blazer, a dynamic guy. They'll use him all different roles. He's still going. Kadarius Toney, they won't catch him.
15, 10, 5,
Touchdown Gators.
and the Gators take the lead.
Oh, it all looked great from that point, and then it got very scary, but in the end, it is a 24-20 victory for the Florida Gators over, I think, a Miami team that's probably going to end up being pretty good. This is a team that I don't think would surprise anybody if we found them playing for an ACC championship some 14, 15 weeks from now. Dari Nowkhah, Chris Doering, Gene Chizik. I didn't say they'd win the ACC championship.
Well, I'm just thinking it's funny this time of year, heading into the season, what we think we know about teams and then what it turns out to be these teams actually are. I didn't give Miami much credit of being able to go out tonight, move the ball much against Florida. I didn't give them much credit for being in this game late, and they fought time and time again. So as much as we're celebrating that game for Florida winning, at the same time, that Miami team needs to be celebrating for putting a pretty good performance together themselves.
Yeah, no question about it. Was it you or Stinch on Friday night that said this game would be a blowout by halftime? Was it you?
Stench.
He's not here to defend himself.